Anthony Smith. I'm the current county supervisor for District 4. District 4 stretches from the city of Maricopa all the way over to Maricopa County, south down to Pima County, stays south of Casa Grande, picks up Arizona City, Red Rock, goes over to Saddlebrook. It's about 115 miles from one end to the other, and about 9 communities and 2 Native American communities I serve. I came from Illinois. I was born in Indiana and raised there. I raised my children in Illinois, Central Illinois. In 1997, I came out to Arizona to work for Motorola and did that for 10 years. I've been married to Nancy Smith, who's a city council member for the city of Maricopa for nearly 20 years now. We came to Maricopa in 2003 because, just like a lot of other people during that time, we were looking for affordable housing. And this was, at the time, about 15 minutes away from our Motorola plant at Queen Creek and Price Road. It was not 15 minutes drive time anymore. But it was a place that was convenient, and it gave us kind of a community that we felt was evolving. We were very excited about those first few years, and to my amazement, after less than 5 years, they gave me the opportunity to serve them as mayor. During that time in which we were trying to figure out, well, how long is this recession and how deep is it going to be? Fortunately, the previous city councils had put aside a lot of that one-time money that received from growth that gave our city councils the ability to, once the prices dropped on land, we were able to make some very important strategic purchases. The purchases such as for the City Hall, that large complex, came from basically a fire sale on some properties that had finally dropped to the point that we could buy them at a reasonable rate. The same thing with Copper Sky. All that land that was for that beautiful park that is south of the city, on the southern side of the city, was all purchased at one time with the idea that we would keep the frontage so that we could get commercial development. Fast forward 10 years, and that is finally happening with the prospect of hotels and retail and other things. I think one of the big deals is that when ADOT selected the route that is south of the city of Maricopa, that comes in from the area in Hidden Valley, comes to the south of Maricopa. When they selected that as a recommended alternative, that's a big deal because the other alternative went down 85, State Route 85, the Gila Bend, and then on I-8. It did nothing for Pinal County. It did nothing for the city of Maricopa and its growth. Well, with that new road, not only do you get economic development that's associated with what you might find along the 101. Another thing that I'm very happy that we've accomplished in 2019 was the finalization of a new county complex for the city of Maricopa. This was very important because currently a lot of the people in western Pinal and the city of Maricopa drive to Casa Grande and even Florence in order to get county services. Well, we'll be bringing those services to this area, and some of those services are things like the recorder office, the assessor, planning. We'll be expanding the justice courts, and of course the justice courts are associated with the county. The municipal court, of course, is associated with the city of Maricopa. Also included in this location that is in the Heritage District, in the area near the post office, but around the existing justice court, is a sheriff's substation. Well, this project will probably break ground in January. We're out for bid for the entire project right now. I think bids are due on the 18th, and break ground in January, and we hope to complete it in October of 2020. One of the things that I continue to be very thankful for is the strong financial position Pinal County is in. Pinal County was the first county to regain all the jobs that we lost during the recession. We have a very favorable tax rate. In fact, we lowered our tax rate once more, and we intend on lowering it, assuming the revenues are sufficient, intend on lowering it again next year. We actually have a strategic goal to get it down to 3.75, and in 2 more years, we will achieve that goal. Well, I think that was a rarity, unfortunately. At the time when it happened, I thought, well, I think this is kind of crazy. Why can't we have 5 racetracks? Why can't we become the center of automobile manufacturing and test and entertainment in the auto industry? I try to be more broad ranging in my thoughts and not so strung out on competition and trying to eliminate your competition. I very much supported Apex, and I very much supported Atessa, but when they got into that battle, I certainly was very supportive of where I live, in my hometown in the city of Maricopa, for the Apex project. And of course, that's turned out super. Well, there's certainly the concern about water. We have some conflicting information. We have certain forces that say, well, we only got about 80% of our supply that we'll need in a 100-year time period. You've got others, including our local experts at Global Water, that say, well, that's inconclusive data, the information that they have, and I think if you manage it correctly, that you'll have an adequate amount of water. But I'm a person that, coming from the Midwest, in which we have water management up there and oftentimes an availability, we need to remember that we live in a desert, and I would like to see more reuse, more conservation of our water resources, and I think that comes down to planning and planning our developments. Well, I think that there's a great opportunity to continue with more economic development wins. Want to see the NICOA project break ground, and I have no doubt it's going to break ground. There's other big projects that I would love to be able to mention today, but they're not available, and we don't want to have loose lips that sink ships type syndrome. But I think it's going to be a 2020 that's going to be full of additional wins for economic development.